It's official, Bucs fans. The 2026 schedule is out. Today's show is presented by PrizePicks. Make sure to use code HMA if you're a new user. You get $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. All right. It is revealed. The 2026 schedule for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is what we're going to be talking about today. It is out, and we can totally look at who the opponents are for the Buccaneers, what matchups we got, some primetime games, see what's going on. So that's what we're going to be talking about on today's show. You're watching Bucs Breakdown by Chat Sports. My name is Reed Barkus. Wherever you're watching, whenever you're watching, hope you're having a great day. 3K in May. It rhymes and it's fun. That's what we're going to be trying to do in the month of May here. We are currently at 2,332 loyal subscribers. Shout out to every one of you guys who are watching right now. We got 668 subs to go to 3K. Can we get it in the month of May? We're almost halfway through the month of May. Can we get 668? By the end, who knows? You get free, fun Bucs content all off season long. Week 1, we start off against the Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow, which sucks because he's probably going to be fully healthy. I'm not wishing any injuries. I'm just saying if we probably played in week 17 or something, he may be on the bench. Who knows? He needs a Band-Aid every once in a while. But start off week 1 against the Bengals. Week 2, we got the Cleveland Browns, where just AFC North automatically. Could it be Shedeur? Could it be Deshaun Watson? We don't know. I think it's going to be Shedeur Sanders, but that's going to be a fun matchup versus the Browns at home. And then staying at home, we play the Minnesota Vikings and J.J. McCarthy, Kyler Murray. We don't even know. These first 3 are going to be an interesting matchup here. And then we go to we stay home, and we go with the Green Bay Packers in week 4. An interesting first 4 games where no divisional opponents yet. And that continues with week 5. Dallas Cowboys, Thursday Night Football, first primetime game that we have on the schedule. This is very interesting. I'm actually very interested at this matchup here, Thursday Night Football. It's going to be a fun one against Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. Moving on to week 6, home against the Pittsburgh Steelers. We still don't know if, at this moment, if Aaron Rodgers is going to be the quarterback of the Steelers. It could be Drew Aller, could be Will Howard. We don't know. Probably going to be Aaron Rodgers, but that'll be an interesting one at home. And then our first divisional opponent with the Carolina Panthers, week 7 at Carolina. That'll be interesting. Bryce Young coming off them winning the division, but I'm not very scared of the Carolina Panthers. And then we go to another divisional right after the Carolina Panthers, home against the Atlanta Falcons, week 8. No bye yet. That's coming soon. We got week 9 against the Chicago Bears, Sunday Night Football, the second primetime game of the 2026 schedule. That's going to be an interesting one as well because Chicago Bears and Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, they seem to be humming right now. Could they be a tough matchup? I think so. And then we get our bye week in week 10. I actually don't hate a week 10 bye week. It's sort of right in the middle. It's not an early one, not a late one. But not too terrible. So get to rest up there, and then you play another NFC North team in a lot of NFC North, AFC North. So we got week 11 at Detroit, which is going to be a fun one with Jared Goff. And then we go back to the divisional opponent in a Monday night game, third primetime game. They want to see Baker Mayfield on the bright lights. I know we do. Week 12 at home against the Panthers, Monday Night Football. And then week 13, we got against the Los Angeles Chargers. We're going to see with that new OC, Mike McDaniel and Justin Herbert. Like my producer Chug said in his video, Justin Herbert, in his prime time of his career, can he finally get over that hump? I feel like he's been sort of just, yes, he's a good quarterback, but what? So that'll be an interesting matchup as well. And then we got another AFC North team, week 14 at the Baltimore Ravens, a whole new regime there. First year without John Harbaugh. That'll be a fun one to watch. And then week 15 against the Saints, first matchup against them. Week 16 at Falcons. This is a little bit of a gauntlet here in our divisional opponents. And then the Rams, we get in week 17 against Stafford, potentially his last year. And then week 18 against the Saints. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to go down each game by game, break it down, see what happens and we're going to talk about it a little bit more. If you're trying to go to any of these games, make sure you do it on our brand new sponsor, SeatGeek. Use code CHAT10 for 10% off your next set of tickets on SeatGeek. Now, the MLB is in full swing. The NBA and NHL playoffs are here. The NFL schedule is out, so you can go try and get some Buccaneers games. And the World Cup tickets are on sale on SeatGeek as well. But I'm more excited about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with the schedule being out. Which game are you most excited for in 2026? Please let me know, and let me know by buying the tickets on SeatGeek. Like I said, use Chat10. Whether it's a baseball game with your significant other or a Noah Khan concert, SeatGeek has your back. Each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10, so you know you're getting a good deal. So look for the green dots. Green means good. Obviously, red means bad. And of course, I have a code for you guys. You can use code CHAT10 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with promo code CHAT10. Just click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Thank you, SeatGeek. So if you did want to go to this game, Week 1 matchup against Joe Burrow. Now, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, they're two very, very interesting players to play against. And I think with the Bengals last year, going 6-11, I think each year they have pretty high hopes for that team. But coming off an interesting injury-riddled season with Joe Burrow, if he's healthy to start the year, this is going to be a tough matchup. And starting the season away, I don't love that, but it's going to be an interesting matchup. I'm very excited to see what we do there. And then Week 2. So I was saying earlier, is it going to be Shedeur Sanders? Is it going to be Deshaun Watson? Is it going to be Dylan Gabriel? It's probably not going to be Taylor Green. He's probably going to be playing wide receiver. But this is our first home game of the year, and I'm not going to lie, guys. If we lose this one, I'm going to be very upset, and I think it's a toss-up with the Bengals in Week 1, but with the Browns, I feel like if we're not 1-1 at this point, I'm not throwing in the towel, but I'm going to be very weary of the potential that this season could go pretty downhill. Moving on to Week 3 against the Minnesota Vikings. Their quarterback situation, we do not know. Now, with our new defense, I'm very intrigued to see what we can do against the Browns and now the Vikings. They don't know what their situation is going to be with the quarterback situation. I keep saying that. But the quarterback, we're going to have a brand new defense, Ruben Bain, Yaya Diaby. We're going to get some pressure on whoever's back there in the backfield because it's going to be a new guy with either Kyler Murray, but J.J. McCarthy, I just don't think he's very good. All right, moving on to the Green Bay Packers. It went 9-7 last year. Micah Parsons, there's rumors that he's probably not going to start the season. I think by the time we play them in Week 4, he should be back there. Now, coming off of that trade, this is going to be an interesting matchup. He might cause some problems for Baker Mayfield, but Zach Robinson, I'm interested to see what he can do in his first year against a pretty good Packers defense. Now, Thursday night football against the Dallas Cowboys away. Now, primetime games, we are not very it's not very fun for us last year with primetime games, but it's going to be a very difficult matchup, I think, with the Cowboys. Now, they add a guy like Caleb Downs, and they made some moves in the offseason, but I'm interested to see what Baker Mayfield in this offense can do. Now, the Steelers. Now, I don't know why. The AFC North is just very prominent in our 2026 schedule. Now, with Aaron Rodgers probably being that quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I really want to see this defensive line with Vita Vea and Ruben Bain and this newly bolstered defense that we made in the draft and offseason additions to really get after Aaron Rodgers because he's sort of a statue back there. So I think I like this game in terms of a win. Now, our first divisional opponent in the Carolina Panthers, I said it earlier, I'm not too scared of the Carolina Panthers. Now, I know they won the division last year, but I think they've made some additions, yes, but I think we match up a lot better than we did last year. So I'm very, very eager to have this matchup only because I think a lot of people are going to be very high on the Carolina Panthers. I don't think they're going to meet those expectations, and I think the Bucs are going to be a lot better than we thought before the NFL draft. All right, moving on to the Atlanta Falcons in our Week 8 matchup. The end of the season, I just still have a bad taste in my mouth when I play the Atlanta Falcons. So I'm circling this one on my schedule against the Atlanta Falcons. I need this win, and I think everybody on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be out for blood against the Atlanta Falcons after what happened last year. So I want to chalk this one up as a win. All right, moving on to another NFC North matchup against the Chicago Bears. Now, this is going to be a pretty difficult one because Week 9, November 8th, could be a little bit of a cold one at Soldier Field. So that's going to be a little bit tough. But I think these two offenses are not the same, but I think they match up pretty well in terms of the offense and the defense. So I think this is going to be a shootout in Week 9, Sunday Night Football prime time under the lights. This is going to be a fun matchup, I guarantee it. All right, bye week. We play against us, and hopefully no injuries. Now, like I was saying, it's sort of tough a little bit when you get to Week 10. Hopefully there's no injuries. And I think a Week 10 is a good spot of if you have some early injuries, some guys are coming back, and if you have an injury around that, you'll be back in time for the end of the season. So I like a Week 10 bye, but you rest up, get a nice, nice coffee, maybe a break, and then you move on. Before we move on with the rest of today's video, I want to give a huge shout out to our presenting sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. If you haven't gotten started with Prize Picks already, you are missing out because the basketball playoffs are going crazy right now, and the baseball season is actually in full swing. So if you're not on Prize Picks, winning some money while watching sports, I don't know what you're doing. I've been using it since 2022, so that should be a big reason to trust Prize Picks because they are the #1 sports picks app as well as mine. Now, it is very simple to use. Just pick more or less on a few player stats. Like I'm showing you right now, we got Cade Cunningham, the more on his points. James Harden, the more on his points as well. This is going to be a shootout, possibly going to Game 7, correct? Yes. Producer Jeremy, this is actually Producer Jeremy's lineup that I'm also going to go with because these games are tomorrow. So we got Anthony Edwards, the more on his points as well. He's going to be coming out firing after that injury. And then Victor Wembanyama, of course, got the more on his, that is a blocks. So, hey, if you guys want to get started with Prize Picks, please download the Prize Picks app. If you're a new user, with the link in the comments and description, and use code HMA. You'll get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. One more time, that's code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it is good to be right. Everything will be in the comments and the description if you want to try and win some money on Prize Picks. All right, moving on to Week 11, we go up against the Detroit Lions. Now, I think the Detroit Lions last year, they had an interesting end to their season, but I think they're going to come out a little bit better. Jared Goff, he's been cooking a lot, and I think that defense is going to be very good. So this is going to be a very interesting matchup. 9-8 last year for the Detroit Lions did not really show what type of team that was. Now, Aiden Hutchinson's going to be a little bit of a problem for our offensive line. Hopefully, our offensive line that stays healthy. Week 12, Monday Night Football divisional game. Prime time under the lights in November. I mean, this is also one that I hope at this point in the season, there is no speculation of this is for the division or, you're getting to a point of this is a game that is really, really going to matter. I hope that we're more ahead in the divisional round or the NFC South. And this is more of a Bryce Young, yeah, he's having a good year, but nothing to compare against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Moving on to Week 13 against the Los Angeles Chargers, that brand new offense coordinator in Mike McDaniel coming over from the Miami Dolphins. I'm actually very nervous about this one right here. Justin Herbert has been doing well in his career, but you get a guy like Mike McDaniel to pair with Justin Herbert. They made a good excuse me. They had a good offseason. I think this is going to be a very tough matchup. I would hope that we win this game, but this might be a loss. I'm not going to lie. Now, Baltimore Ravens, they have a totally new regime there without John Harbaugh. So I think this is going to be a down year for the Baltimore Ravens. I think they're not going to get their footing. Yes, Lamar Jackson's still going to be Lamar Jackson. I don't think it's going to be the same offense that they had last year, though. So I would probably chalk this one up as a win, and I'll make a record prediction later on in the week. So make sure you hit the subscribe button because we'll be going through all of these games and seeing what the record could be for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, moving on to our first matchup with the New Orleans Saints. Now, I'm actually a lot higher on the Saints this year. I think the Saints are going to be the main competitor in the division this year because I think they have a lot of weapons now for Tyler Shuck. I don't think Tyler Shuck's a bad quarterback whatsoever, but they still are the Saints. So I hope at this point in time they're close to the division, but I think hopefully we're leading the race. But you never know. Moving on to Week 16, almost wrapping up here. Excuse me, guys. Away at the Atlanta Falcons, the second matchup here. I just really hope that Kevin Stefanski and the Atlanta Falcons, I don't think they're going to get it going. You got Tua and Michael Penix. Them having no idea what they're going to do at quarterback, it's going to scream like 3 or 4 wins at this point in the season. All right, Week 17, we got the Los Angeles Rams. Could be the last year of Matthew Stafford. We'll have to see what Puka Nacua does because he has got a lot of offseason talk and rumors. But I think their offense is still going to be very good. This is going to be a game that could have some playoff, playoff, not capabilities, but 2 playoff teams potentially facing off against each other. Implications. And thank you, producer Jeremy. Playoff implications. All of you guys are staring at me like, what are you talking about? Playoff implications for those 2 teams right there. I hope so. And then we round off the final game of the 2026 season for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hopefully this is doesn't mean anything game, and we can lose this, bench the starters for the playoffs, but go into New Orleans in the Dome and take on Tyler Shuck and the Saints. Again, pretty close gauntlet of divisional games towards the end of the season. I think that's pretty normal, but not having a divisional game in the first 6 weeks is very interesting, so we'll have to see what happens there. But that is the whole 2026 NFL schedule for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But I want you guys to predict the Bucs record in the comments section right now. After looking at the entire schedule, what do you think the record for the Bucs is going to be? I'll give my record prediction as we go through the rest of the schedule. So Week 1, again, at the Bengals. Then Week 2 with the Browns. Week 3 against the Vikings. Week 4 against the Packers. Week 5 primetime game against the Cowboys. Week 6 versus the Steelers. Week 7 at the Panthers. Week 8 versus the Falcons. Week 9 at the Bears. Sunday Night Football. Very interesting matchup there. Bye in Week 10. Week 11 at the Lions. Week 12 versus the Panthers. Monday Night Football. Week 13 versus the Chargers. Week 13 versus the Chargers. Sorry. Week 14 at Ravens. Week 15 versus the Saints. Week 16 at Falcons. Week 17 versus the Rams. Week 18 at the Saints. And my record prediction is going to be another video. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. YouTube.com/Bucs. Now, I told you I was going to do my record prediction in a couple of videos, so make sure to stay tuned. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, fire the cannons.